Hey guys, it's Kara and Dobie Joe again. Today we are going to learn Old Joe Clark on page 51. Yes, page 51. Old Joe Clark. Now we've got a total of 16 measures in this song, and each 8 measure section gets played twice, okay? Now I'm going to ask you to try something a little different than what we've done before. You remember a few pages back, I'm trying to think of when it was, when we learned to play in different positions. Let's see, switching positions, that was back on page 40. Yeah, I think that's the first time I show you that. And then the second position exercises, that was on page 36. No, I'm sorry, 38. You might want to go back and review those pages, because what I want to suggest to us, just for the sheer purpose of practicing it this way, is the first 8 measures I want us to play in what I refer to as first position. And what I mean by that is all of our 2s I want us to play using our second finger on our second fret, and all of our 1s would be our first finger on our first fret. All of our 4s would be our pinky on our 4th fret, okay? Now that's just for the first 8 measures, because I've got a couple of 1s in that first 8 measure section. When we go to the second section, the second grouping of 8 measures, also known sometimes as the B part, and if it was an instrumental we would call it an A part and a B part. When it's an actual song with words, we call it the verse and the chorus, okay? So A part, B part is a term that we use a lot of times if we're talking about fiddle tunes or instrumentals. And verse and chorus, those are terms that we use when we've got a lyric to the, we've got words to sing to it. Now, stop helping yourself. No, you wait. You wait. You wait. Okay? Bag is a little bit close to her nose. Okay, if you were a student and you were with me live, you would hear me do that to you every now and then. I have to admit that sometimes I go to my students too. But I really do it to my dog when she's misbehaving. I'm going to turn this a little bit so it's farther away from you. Exactly. All right. So first section, we want to play this tablature using our second finger on our second fret, first finger on our first fret, 4th finger on our 4th fret. When we go to that second grouping of measures, the second 8 measures, we want to switch to second position, because when you look at that second batch of 8 measures, there's never going to be a first fret that we have to hit. So we might as well jump into second position using our pointer finger, our first finger on all of our second frets, and our 3rd finger on our 4th frets, okay? So go back to those pages I mentioned before and review what I mean by that first position and second position when we switch, all right? And practice maybe warming up on some of those exercises on those previous pages before we try to play this tablature together, okay? I think we will set this on 78. Let's see about what. Da, 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 da. Let's knock it back a little bit slower than that. And again, if you feel like you're ready to play it faster, okay, that's about 58 right there. No, that's actually 60. If you feel like you want to play it faster, guess what? Practice it slowly with me, and then you can speed yourself up, okay? All right, kind of got my book pages in my thing when I moved your snack bag. All right, but we can still see my hands. That's all we care about. All right, we're going to play this tablature together. Ready? So, like I said, like I started to say, I don't know if I finished what I was saying because I'm a little distracted with Dobie Joe right now. But if you want to play it faster than this, play it slowly with me first, and then stop the video and speed up your metronome. That's all you got to do, okay? But you should be able to play it perfectly with me at the slow speed before you speed up. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and second line. Rest. Rest and repeat. rest. Second line. Rest. Here we go into the next section. We're going to switch positions here. Got all these nice zeros to do it on. Rest. Last line. Rest. Rest and repeat that second section. Rest. This is our last line. Rest. And rest. All right, so once again, even though I was a little bit distracted with the antics of the beagle, I will say it again. If that was too slow for you, guess what? You can try it faster, only after you can play it perfectly with me and show that you have patience with yourself at that speed, okay? Now, when you're playing it that slowly, you need to be listening for tone. If you have notes that are coming out like that, you need to slow down and get it right before you speed it up. If that was too fast for you at that tempo, which, what did I say it was? 40, 48, 50, 60, what? 60. If that was too fast for you, slow it way down, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Slow it way down and play it slower. All right, we're going to leave it right where it was set, and now we are going to do our chords. Let's see. When you are practicing your chords with tablature like this, a lot of times I'm not going to tell you what pattern you need to play. Any of the patterns that we've played previously, and I think we went back to page, I'm trying to think of what page it was in here, where we talk about all the different strumming patterns and what your job is as a rhythm player. Yeah, we start discussing that on page 26. Yeah, so back there's all these different patterns you can play, and you can change the patterns as you're playing as well. Most people do, and the more advanced you get, the less you're going to think about what your right hand is doing, and the more you're just going to keep a nice rhythm with variations going all the time. Unintended, it's just going to become a natural thing, I promise you. Let's go ahead and do the boom diddy pattern on this. So what I mean by that is every measure is going to get a down, down, up, down, down, up, okay? Now in the second line of the first section, we have a D and an A in the same measure. So that's going to sound like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4, Now, it just so happens that the chord progression in the next 8 measures is identical to the first 8 measures. All right? So, once you've mastered that D to A, boom, diddy, you're going to be sailing. Let's go ahead and jump on this. Okay. Here we go. Now, you can use this, you can practice while I'm playing the chords. You can play your tablature. And by the same token, you can go back to when I recorded the tablature and you can practice your strumming patterns, okay? You need to make sure you're doing that with all these videos. It's a good opportunity to practice both parts. Here we go on our chords. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1, 2, and 3, 4. And here we go on that change. D to A and to D again for 4 beats. And then we repeat. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1, section. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 G, to A, and back to D, 2 and 3. Now we got to repeat that section. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay? Now, if those chord changes were too fast for you, you can slow it way down to 48. Now, if we did it that slowly, it would be like this. 1. Now, sometimes if you ask me, and I think you are because you bought the book, so you are asking me. When you ask me what I like to do on this, I'm going to tell you that instead of going that slowly, I am going to double time my click, take it all the way around to about 80, and that way it's counting off eighth notes for me. 1 and 2 and. So the strumming pattern against that would sound like this. If I was strumming that slowly, your notes would be da, 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 da. Okay? So sometimes if you need to go slower, it's almost worth taking your click track, your metronome, whatever device you're listening to, and double timing the click so that you're not spending all that time like anticipating when the next click is going to be. Like once again, when I'm all the way down there on 48, there's so much time that goes between those clicks that I find when I'm practicing, I'm spending all my time anticipating. It's harder for me to stay with those slow clicks than it is to double time it, okay? So take my advice on that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good advice. Let's see what's going on the next page. Whiskey Before Breakfast. We're going to review the D major scale together, and then we're going to learn Whiskey Before Breakfast, which is one of my favorite fiddle tunes to learn. When I refer to fiddle tunes, I'm talking about songs that were traditionally written to begin with on a fiddle, but everybody plays them on all the instruments, but we call them fiddle tunes. Are you going to sleep? All right. Hey, listen, thanks so much for hanging out with me on this episode of how to teach guitar, film a video, and train your dog at the same time. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time when we tackle page 52. Bye-bye.